Welcome to the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast. This week we have Alex, Jason, Jaimen, and our guest tonight has been a PDGA member since 2021. He currently has a Global Masters Series rank of 3,428 for 2024 and has finished on the podium in almost half of his 14 tournaments in the MA40 division this year. He also shares captain duties for the Tower of Power New York Team Challenge with Kevin Kroenke and one half of Camel Case Corey, Tim Goyette. Thank you for joining us, Evan Parsley.
Thanks a lot, Pat. I'm very happy to join you.
So how did you first discover disc golf?
It's kind of a two-part story because I think I missed my opportunity. Probably about 20 years ago, I went in to play it against sports, and I was either looking for snowboard equipment or maybe golf clubs. I was getting into golf a little bit at the time with some friends, and I remember seeing golf discs and some sort of flight chart, probably would have been Innova, I'm guessing. And I said, well, that sounds cool. Disc golf sounds cool. Where would one play disc golf? Somebody said there was a place in Schenectady, and I was like, okay, I'm not super familiar with Schenectady, but I just remember it was like overwhelming because I knew golf clubs and I know 7-iron, a 9-iron, but there was all these numbers and, how many discs do you need? And just didn't really know anything about it. So kind of just passed it by. And then back in 2021, I was at my local comic book shop in Troy, Aquilonia Comics, and I overheard a couple of the guys talking about disc golf at Prospect Park in Troy. And I was looking for something to do because COVID had kind of taken away pickleball. I gotten really into pickleball at that point, and they sent me to Dick's to get a starter set, and I did that and went to Prospect Park and have not looked back.
So that brings up two questions. One, what course is in Schenectady? Is it still there?
That would be Central Park, yeah. Which At the time, I just, I didn't really know anything about it, but I don't know how long has Central Park been around. Am I right on my timing there? Is 20 years too long ago?
I'm not sure. That might have been right around when it got put in 2004. That's possible. Kenji's the one to ask.
Estimating it 20-ish years ago when I kind of heard of disc golf and then quickly forgot about it.
Okay. And my second question, what were your top 3 comics on your pull list?
Let's see. 3 years ago, I was getting into the X-Men relaunch. So the House of X, Powers of X.
The Krakoan Age?
Yeah, that was kind of, I was into comics when I was younger and then fell out of it and then got right back in around that time. The third one would be Something is Killing the Children, which is a really good independent book, kind of a horror comic.
What's your local course? Is it Prospect?
Prospect Park, absolutely. I'm from Troy, and where my wife and I live now is about 5 minutes from Prospect Park. So to hear that there was a disc golf course there was super exciting because it's so close to home.
Do you remember your first disc?
So I did go to Dick's and buy the Innova starter set, and I got a yellow DX AVR and a red DX Shark and an orange DX Leopard.
Do you still have any of those discs?
I do still have all 3 of those. I have a box of stuff that I would guess, grown out of or, cycled out of, but I still keep for, I guess, sentimental at this point. But I do still have those 3, yeah.
So you said you started playing in 2021 and you signed up for PDGA in 2021. What made you decide to do that?
I guess when I first went and played that first day at Prospect, I kind of went by myself, not really knowing what to do. I think there was a kiosk and maybe a map at that point. It was only 9 holes. But a buddy of mine pulled up, coincidentally, a guy named Peter Fisher, who owns Collar City Guitars in Troy. And he and I had been in a Creedence cover band back in the day. And he said, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm looking to play disc golf. And he's like, oh, no kidding. And popped his trunk and he had a bag of discs because he used to live in Arizona and been playing for 20 years.
Okay, don't answer this yet. I want to go around the room. Alex, Jason, and Jaimen, what was the name of his Creedence Clearwater Revival cover band? What do you got, Alex?
Oh gosh, this is too fast. I don't know. I don't have a good name.
Jason?
I don't know.
Jaimen, anything?
I'm just going to go with Collar City Revival because that's the nickname for Troy.
All right, I got a couple then. I'll fill in for you guys. Was it Proud Mary? Was it Keep On Rollin'? Was it Fortunate Son? What was it?
All good guesses. The name of that group was the Hoodoo Dare.
Is that a reference to the... I have a very basic CCR knowledge base.
I believe that's a lyric from Born on the Bayou.
Okay.
Chasing down a Hoodoo Dare.
I never knew what they were saying there. Okay, I like it. I learned something today.
Yeah, so Peter that first day was like, hey, get on Facebook and find DisCap. And so I did that, and I started to see that, there was this whole community, and then there was tournaments, and that appealed to me, the idea of, I was still brand new, but I'm like, this sounds cool. I had formerly been a league bowler, so I like that kind of social, competitive, adult sports, kind of thing. So I signed up for the PDGA as a birthday present to myself that year, which was my 40th birthday, actually. I was 40 eligible from the very beginning.
Do you remember the first tournament?
My first tournament, that was in June of 2021. Rare Form Brewing had a tournament at Prospect Park called the Confetti Cup. It was not sanctioned, and I remember it said to bring your foursome, and having played golf before, I thought, okay, maybe this is like a four-man scramble, because that's what I'm used to at a golf tournament. But it was really, guys, just what I would now know as a flex. So my brother came and played, and my buddy Peter that I mentioned, his dad came and played with us. So that was my first actual tournament, but I didn't do my first PDGA tournament until March of 2022, which would have been the Stony Kill Wipeout.
How many of the holes did you play with no shoes on?
0 holes, and I love that I've gotten that reputation as the guy with his shoes off. And in my defense, I feel like I've seen professional golfers do that on television. You know, as growing up, am I making that up? I don't know, but it didn't feel wildly out of line at the time, but I know better now.
Like shallow water or something, and they were trying to get their ball. I could see that happening.
Right, like the ball's on the edge, and maybe they have to stand in the water, but they can still hit it. I don't know, it felt like as long as I make this putt and save this par, this is going to be a great story. And it certainly has been that.
Yeah, I've seen ball golfers take their shoes off.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
My thinking is just with disc golf, your footwork is more important. With ball golf, you're just kind of standing there. With disc golf, there's a lot more movement and such. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't really think that it really should matter, but
I'm just betting that ball golf has a better insurance policy than disc golf does.
Yeah,
That's where my mind went to. Yeah.
Yeah, and in hindsight, that might not have been the best place in CTK to be walking barefoot in murky water, but you know.
It may or may not be an old tractor dump.
Yeah. But hey, I made that putt and saved that par, so.
How many unique courses have you played?
Oh, I just looked. So I am up to 36 courses played so far.
Okay. You said 2021. Was it early 2021?
It was April of 2021. Yep. My first UDIS scorecard is in April 31st of 2021.
Okay. So you're in Team Challenge, so you play year round.
Correct. Yeah, right from the get-go, too, I did play year-round. I found tag matches with the Glenn Spalls group very early on that first winter through Facebook. I was so hooked on disc golf. I wanted to keep playing. And growing up, I was snowboarding and playing hockey. So winter sports, being cold is natural. So I was going up to Moreau and Crandall that winter of, 2021 into 2022.
I played hockey too until everybody started using skates.
Yeah, my family was on skates. My sister figure skated, and my brother and I played hockey from the time we were young. So being cold has never really bothered me. I hate being hot.
It looks like earlier this year you were AM3 and you moved up to AM40. Why make that change?
Couple reasons that I wanted to play MA40. One of them I would say that kind of maybe helped me finalize that decision had to do with NIFA. Because I joined NIFA, early on when I was playing tournaments, and the first 2 years I couldn't go to finals. I just couldn't physically make that trip. And then the last year I had thought I did pretty well on MA3, and I know they do payouts, like maybe I'm in line for a payout. But I had not read the fine print that says MA3 does not get payouts, which is fine. But I thought, okay, I've been thinking about switching to MA40. And I know the guys in MA40. I know it'll be difficult because they play longer tees, but I'm up for a challenge. And I think playing with better players will help me to get better. So from the beginning of this year, I said I'm going to switch to MA40, and no matter how hard it gets, I'm going to stick with it. And it did get hard, but I have stuck with it, and I don't regret it.
Absolutely. With a lot of other guys, when I'm looking into the tournaments and such, there's a lot of jumping around, and it looks like you played your last MA3 in February, and that was it. There's no bouncing around is, I guess, my point.
Yeah, I talked to a couple people about it and what they thought, if that was a good idea for me or not. Because I knew that it was basically MA1 with, an age limit, and that there was a good chance I'd be playing against players rated much better than me, and I have, and that's been fine. My first tournament this year in MA40 at the Blatnick Breeze, I was tied for first on the last hole with Joe Caron and Steve Marshall, and did not expect to be there. So right away I felt like, okay, at least I can hang with these guys. I may not be the favorite, but it's been a good experience. And we've played a couple rounds, Pat. I think I've probably said this to you, but my favorite part of playing an MA40 is that everybody gets the movie references.
Absolutely, yeah. Even on this podcast is difficult. They're like a decade younger, so.
Yeah, I'm the guy at work listening to the podcast on Friday going, man, I get that reference, or I know what he's talking about. Like, Pat, how many times have you seen Tommy Boy?
I don't feel it here or here, just here.
Oh my God, your face.
I've got a few other questions, but Jaimen, I think, has a question for you.
Oh, okay. So, open field shot, no wind, 200 feet. What are you throwing? What kind of shot are you throwing? What disc are you throwing?
I really like a pig that distance because I can throw it hard, kind of right at the basket, flat or a little anhyzer, and it's going to usually go straight at the basket for me. But I also don't hate a hex on kind of a gentle hyzer, aiming maybe 25 feet wide and just letting it kind of crash in.
And that's a backhand or a forehand?
Oh, backhand. Yeah, backhand. My forehand is still in the emergency use only. 100 feet or less, ideally. It's funny. I have a list of goals I wrote myself back in 2023, and develop a forehand is one of them. It's still not checked off. So.
It's a long process.
The pig, that's a putt and approach?
Yes, that is Innova's. They reclassified it to a 4, but it was always a 3-speed. Very low glide, overstable right out of the box. Unfortunately, they don't make them in premium plastic, so they beat in pretty quickly. And I have been recently experimenting with the zone. I'm liking the zone. It's in my bag right now, to be honest. So
somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but if you want a good practice for your forehand, a zone, I think, would be a very good disc to use because you know what it's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped throwing the zone only because, especially with a hard forehand, it gets very skippy and it's basket averse. You know, if you hit the chains pretty hard, it likes bouncing. But if you just need to get it there, it's great.
Yeah, something I really like a pig for is the fact that the ground play is usually, somehow it always works out and curls or skips the way I need it to, rest by the basket. So it's hard to give up my pigs.
Does that have some kind of beveled top or something weird about the top on it, the pig?
I don't know if thumb track is the right word for it, but...
Some kind of ridge?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I actually found a zone. Apparently, I'm not a DisCraft guy, but they did like a battle pack, 2 different concept zones, a ringer and a banger. Does anybody know about this?
Oh, yeah, the GTs?
Yes. So I found out that the one of them, which I think is the ringer, has a top that's like very similar to the pig. So I found one of those that I am really liking because it's a zone, but it kind of feels a little bit like a pig in my hands. So that might be the answer for me.
Nice. Yeah. So DisCraft has a line of, I guess, modification to their disc called a GT, which means it's got a groove top on it. It's very different to the Innova thumb track that you'll get on a birdie or a rhino or a pig, but they're pretty interesting. They're like scooped.
And they call it GT because the word groove has such a negative connotation with disc golf, I imagine. Okay, so Evan, what's your go-to course beverage?
My go-to course beverage is water. Round 1. Round 2, I will top off whatever water I drank with some Gatorade. I came to disc golf after I had stopped drinking, so I don't have like an alcoholic go-to.
Okay.
My whole family drinks a lot of canned polar seltzer. We just cannot get enough flavored seltzer. So if you play us a team challenge and you see the giant multi-pack of variety of polar seltzer flavors, that was me.
All right, so Corey's not here. So let's say you're going to a course, but it's across a lake. So you got to get into a boat and you're running late. So you hop on this boat and you're heading over to the course and you're halfway there and you realize you forgot your bag. I don't know how this is going to work. But Kevin Kroenke's there.
Oh, good.
What 3 discs is he going to lend you that you can play on this course that is very similar to SPW? And because you're playing with Kroenke, you're playing whites, so...
Right. Well, if it's Kevin, I think that means it has to be all Trash Panda stuff. Is that true?
I don't know if they have enough discs to make a full bag.
Exactly. Let's assume he has stuff that I would throw.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely want a pig. I love that as a go-to kind of approach overstable shot. I would really want to have a hex because since the first time I bought a hex from Dan Brookswell's trunk, I have loved that disc so much. And then I usually would want to have, these days it'd be a rhythm, which is Axioms, very similar to a Leopard 3, kind of an understable 7-speed. Those are kind of my 3. I have a 5-disc bag that I bring to work if I have time to play 9 on lunch. And it's a pig and a hex and a rhythm and a bear sometimes, plus a putter, which putter is Pixel these days. But I used to be a wizard guy.
What's the hex? You've mentioned it a couple times. I thought it was more of a putter, but I guess if you're throwing it with a pig, is it different?
Yeah, that's the Axiom neutral mid, so like a 5.5 -1/1, similar to a Buzz. That was the disc it kicked out of my bag when I first got one, the Buzz. But I love a hex. Just a great, very workable mid, and again, feels great in my hand.
So how did you get involved with New York Team Challenge?
So Team Challenge, I kind of heard of or had a brief experience with it because I went to a putting league at Franklin Alley in Troy and met Chad Larson because he saw me putting with Wizards and he was like, oh, fellow wizard guy. And we started talking. And he said, hey, if you want a putting lesson, I'm going to be at Prospect Park on this date at, like 8:30 in the morning. If you want to come out, I got a match, but come on out, I'll give you a putting lesson. Okay, cool. So I put on my calendar and I showed up, and it was, that was one of the coldest days. I could not believe there was a parking lot full of people. I guess now it was probably a neutral match. Maybe Burbine was playing somebody. All these people were out playing disc golf, and it was freezing cold. I could not believe they were out playing. And I think Chad was surprised that I showed up, but he did give me a quick little putting lesson there at Prospect, and I learned that what they were doing was called Team Challenge. And, again, the former league bowler, enjoying competitive aspects. I was like, well, team disc golf, that sounds cool too. So found the Facebook groups for New York and thought it sounded cool, but nobody was really looking for an 820 rated MA3 player at that time. So it didn't come around until Kevin kind of got this off the ground, and Kevin and I had become friendly and played a lot of tag matches. So when he said he was looking to get a team going, I was very, very interested.
You're a captain this year. Were you a captain last year?
In my heart, yes. Last year, no one really told us that we couldn't, or I guess maybe if it was in the charter, we missed it. So Kevin was the captain because he got the team off the ground. And early on, he asked for help. He needed help kind of handling money and stuff. And I have a background as a former bank teller and working in finance and stuff. I was like, well, I can help with that. And then he said, we need a spreadsheet guy. And Tim Goyette does spreadsheets for a living for New York State in some capacity. So the three of us kind of came together. And being a former hockey guy, in the NHL, you have a captain and then you get two alternate captains. The captain gets a C on his sweater and the other guys get A's. And so I was like, I really want like a hoodie with my number and initials on the back, and I want an A on the front. So we went with captain and two alternates. Or maybe Jason can speak to whether or not we were going against any unspoken rules or not.
As far as I know, there was no quantity of captains established.
And there are no unspoken rules. Jason has everything written down. Trust me. He's very meticulous with that kind of stuff.
I'll say this year when the team application went out, it did specifically ask for a captain and a co-captain. And so we said, okay, let's, obviously we're all going to help with the team stuff, but it was going to be Kevin and Tim this year. And then Tim his kids had Boy Scout stuff, and he just wasn't going to be able to do every match. So I said I would be co-captain with Kevin.
And I'm assuming with your team apparel, your idea was the sweatshirt. Cronky's idea were the colors?
So I am actually also a lifelong Mets fan. So I was fully on board with the colors. The hoodies with the hockey laces, I absolutely wanted that. I pushed really hard for that. Name and number on the back. I was like, this is, basically the way the hoodies came out is just about as close to the way I imagined it as they could be.
I have been envious of the hoodies ever since I first saw them. They are awesome bits of merch for the team.
Alex, we were at Chatham at Stony Kill last year playing you guys when Eric Struna brought me, he made mine first as kind of the prototype, the proof of concept. And also we knew that if I wore it that day, the whole team would get excited and all want to order them. So we got to debut them there. And I will say everybody from our team and your team made me feel pretty cool wearing that sweatshirt.
Yeah, they look great.
Thank you.
So what's your number on your shirt and why?
I am number 13. Ever since I was a kid, youth hockey. I think I just remember as a kid hearing that 13 was unlucky, and I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I think that's my lucky number. And it was kind of just, a contrarian thing, but 13 has always been my lucky number.
Well, I figure any number A-Rod wears is an unlucky number, so that's just me, though.
No, I think I had it before him, maybe. I don't know.
That's fair.
As far as the three captains go, I will just say last year, there was only ever two of us acting in captain capacity. So if I was up there, I was just doing the board. Kevin and Tim were in charge. We weren't ever trying to overwhelm anybody with an extra captain or anything,
I think Kevin alone was overwhelming enough. So
It seems like each of your captains has a thing, their designation. Other than bringing seltzer, what was yours?
Initially, it was, help financially, setting up all that to do with ordering the merch. That was me and Eric Struna, coordinating, getting all that done. I really like, kind of the strategic aspects of it too. This year, our first match at home against the North, Tim couldn't be there in the morning. He had made up the chart/heat map that we use, but to kind of be in the driver's seat for matchups and make those, choices in real time, I really, really enjoyed that aspect of it too. And then I also bring the blue cheese to the spread, which I think is probably a big part of our team.
That's key. I was wondering if we should just talk about some team challenge, or the other thing I wanted to talk about was the DisCap Series 2024, the volunteer finale. What do you think?
I think that's probably going to go faster than team challenge talk.
Okay. Alex played, and Evan, you played in that as well, right?
Correct.
Okay. It was the 27-hole layout. Is that correct at J Park?
Yep.
All right. Tournament director Mike Schwartz. So I'll go through the results and then ask you guys about your rounds. So the DisCap Series 2024 number 5 volunteer finale. So there were 5 events this year. Was there 5 last year or was it 4?
5 sounds right, but I could not tell you.
Okay. Starting in the FA3 Women's Amateur 3 division, Brandy Hudson is your winner there. MA3 Mixed Amateur 3, we got Nick Salvano and Eric Struna. They tied for first. Did they do a tiebreaker? Do we know?
They had a playoff, yeah.
Were they the ones that had like an 8-hole playoff or something like that?
I don't know how long their playoff was. I do know that Nick won that playoff.
So Nick Salvano won that in a playoff. FA2 Women's Amateur 2 was Danielle Woodell, your winner. MA2 Mixed Amateur 2, there was a tie for second at +9 between Brandon Klein and Jacob Dunbar, but your winner by 2 strokes, Christopher Evan Chuck. MA60 Mixed Amateur 60 was won by John Furman. He won it over Sparky Spalding. MA50 Mixed Amateur 50 was a tie between Kenji Klein and David Herodes. Assume David Herodes was your winner because he's on top.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I believe I heard that Dave won, but I don't know that with as much certainty as I know about MA3.
All right. That's more certainty than anybody else here, so that's good certainty.
Yeah.
All right, so moving over to the MA40, the Mixed Amateur 40 division. First question, Evan, did you play all the right holes?
We did. So the hole that I played mistakenly at the Jammer, part of the reason I did that is because in the lead up, I had practiced on the J27 layout. So after you finish, is it Mount Misery?
Yeah, that big uphill. Automatically go left, yeah.
Right. We go left to 26B, I think. So, yes, we played correctly this time. We played the 27 holes as intended.
Well, in your defense, in that same tournament, in the first round, I had to tell my group, hey, I think the sign's telling us to go this way. So I'm sure you weren't the only one that at least thought about going the wrong direction. But how was your round otherwise?
The round was great. It was a beautiful day. It was a bit windy, but, it's windy for everybody, so that didn't bother me too much. 4 of us in MA40, so, we all played together. Jill Karen and Terry Hudson I've played with many times this year in MA40. Terry started the year still in MA3, but I think when he saw me make the switch and realized that he could do that as well. So I'm glad to have Terry in MA40, even though he's been kicking my butt all year. We had a great round. We started on hole 13, and after we made our first throws, Joe and Terry and I walking out remarked on the fact that not that long ago we couldn't get past those trees in the middle of 13, and here we all are throwing past them. So that was kind of cool.
Which one's 13?
13 is the one with the 3 trees out in the middle with the kiddie pool underneath them.
Okay. So when you say getting past, you're talking about getting past those specific trees.
Yeah, like physically throwing past those trees out in the middle. Because there's nothing else in that field except for those trees, which I think Tim J once told me that Greg Kurtz planted those trees and he wasn't supposed to, and there they are. I don't know if that might be true.
True or false, it sounds exactly like him, so either way.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't supposed to, but he did it, and then they just left them in, and there they are. So the round went well. Didn't play my very best golf, but just a couple holes where I made some mistakes that compounded a little, but also had some holes that went really well. Plus 14 ended up being kind of just above my current rating. So, obviously would like to do a little better, but it was a great day and a good time. And congrats to Kevin. He took it down on the last hole. He and Joe were battling back and forth, and he had a good round. So congratulations to him.
Looks like everybody on your card shot over their rating. Kevin, is his last name Relia? Did I pronounce that correctly, or do you not know?
I'm not sure. That's how I said it in my head. But
okay, yeah, I always just say Relia like hell yeah, but with R-E-L instead of...
Exactly.
All right. So that's all we need in the amateur divisions. We'll move over to the pro divisions.
Yeah, I think that just about covers it.
All right. So MA1, Mixed Amateur 1. Looks like there was a tie for second with Adam Selman and Charles Gordon Jr. the third. Alex, how was your round?
Not too bad. Played with some good people, as always. Tim Goyette, half Camo Case Corey, Willie Harrison, and Chuck Gordon Jr. to round out the card. I had a pretty good day. Honestly, there wasn't a ton that really jumped out. I had a couple of nice birdies on some particularly hard holes, like hole 14, which is that one. So just after the par 4, you just cross the road and you're going up and then 90 degrees to the right for 150 feet. I made a long putt on that one. But honestly, I don't think I did anything too spectacular. I just didn't take a whole lot of bogeys. Played pretty calm. I had 6 birdies, 6 bogeys for an even score, which, I felt good about, but didn't feel, like crazy about. But it was enough to take down the 6-person field. So we take that.
Heck yeah. There were 3 -1s, but second hottest score other than
Yeah.
-1 of the day.
And I had a 15-footer on hole 2 as my last hole. And, at that point, I wasn't really looking at anybody else's scores. I just knew that I was, comfortably winning MA1. And I just I did a little bit of a lazy putt, hit high and left, and it fell out. That would have put me to -1 to tie the hot round. So immediately felt bad about that. But, couldn't feel too bad about it.
With that 27-hole layout, it seems more of a marathon than a regular round.
Yeah. After the round came in, helped out with some tags, helped out with the ace pot throw off, which was really cool. It was like $700 worth of ace pot that they were throwing off for.
So that means nobody hit an ace during the round?
No aces in the round. I hit the cage on hole 24. That was one of the better moments of the round for sure. Because, you can't see it. You're just looking for the spotter to tell you anything. And, you just see him react. And then he said it hit cage. And I was like, yeah, finally. That's not a hole I expect to birdie. So to have it off the cage for a tap in, that's definitely a good one for me.
Absolutely. So what did they end up doing for the ace pot throw off? What was the parameters?
I just found Mike's post about it too after the event. They set up from the white tee of hole 1, which was about 200 feet away, and everybody got 2 throws, but only one could count, and they were going to pay out the top 5 closest shots. And 5th place was Brandon Klein, who got $70. 4th was Ryan Clare, got $105. 3rd was Evan Parsley with $140.
I heard of that guy.
Nice.
Did he have his shoes on? That's the question.
He did, although Ryan Clare was in slides. I still had my
He
discount
was.
shoes on. Yeah.
Yeah, that was questionable.
2nd was Kevin Relier, $175. Jeff Wachowski took down the throw-off. That happened to me once at Wild West, where the round ended and I put my bag in the car and changed into my Crocs, and then they said, ace throw-off, and I borrowed a Rhino from Greg Hill and threw in Crocs and did not get the ace.
You said that it was about a 200-foot throw. Did you throw the pig?
Actually, no. I went with an Envy and a Tempo. It was my Fission Envy that landed. Alex had the tape measure, so he could tell you. I think it was inside 8 feet.
Yes. Yeah. I can't remember exactly what the numbers were, but
They were all pretty close.
they were around that 80-inch mark. So 7 feet and change, or 6 feet and change.
Based on what you said earlier, I'd have gone with the pig or the hex. You didn't even use either of them.
I know. I guess when I have too many choices, it worked out, though. The Envy was a good choice.
All right, so Alex is your MA1 winner. Moving over to the pro side, Mixed Pro 60 was won by Greg Kurtz. He beat Danny Parton. MP50 was Tim Giardini and Joe Driskolka tied at -1. Do we know anything about that tiebreaker?
Nope.
All right.
No, that might have been the 8-hole playoff that Alex alluded to, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, all I had heard at some point, Mike had come up and said, they're 8 holes in and still playing, or something like that. Or maybe they said they were on hole 8 and still playing, which might have been like 4 holes in. But I don't know. I couldn't tell you any more details.
That's fine. They shot -1 on the rounds, and it looks like Tim took it down in some form of playoff. MP40 Mixed Pro 40 was Ryan Clare took it over Brian Bickersmith. Kat Bemis is your FPO winner. And in the Mixed Pro Open, Randy was there, came in 4th. Looks like 3rd place was at +4, Troy Vasari. 2nd place +3, Adam Nelson. And your winner at +2, Justin Muccelli. So for Corey, this will probably have to include this in the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Year results.
I will tell you, I was getting some flack after the round for not playing MPO, considering my score would have won MPO. But you don't expect the top-rated player at the event to shoot 30 points below their rating.
Who was that?
Justin Muccelli.
Yeah, he still won.
He won with a +2, but it's a 936 rated round.
But also put you on the card with Justin Muccelli and Adam Nelson and Troy Vasari, and maybe that changes your game a little bit too.
True. Different vibes.
Yeah. If you had a nice lead and it probably relaxed you.
True.
I'm not trying to, you had a good round. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But, it's not like you shot 5 or 8 down or something like that. Incredible. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll say all day long, even par on that 27-hole layout is awesome. But
yeah, even par from where I'm sitting feels incredible. So
exactly. I don't know. I'm just going to shut up now. And so yeah, they had 50 players. Like I said, DisCap Series 2024, number 5, volunteer finale. Just off the top of your heads, anybody have an opinion? Do you think this is going to keep going? It seems like it's picking up momentum now.
I like it. I hope it keeps going.
I think Mike said he was going to do the flexes on Fridays, maybe.
Really?
That would be cool.
Yeah, I think he had some reasoning behind it.
Yeah. It's kind of taking up that whole Saturday for a one-round tournament. It's kind of tough. I feel like it stymies the growth of 2-round tournaments because 5 weekends out of the year are gone. But I don't know. I think Friday flexes, that's kind of the perfect time for those, I feel like, because it's unobtrusive. Nobody else was going to be doing a tournament that time anyways.
And it's alliterative, Friday flexes.
Mm-hmm.
I got a kick out of how often this tournament was referred to as the volunteer flex. Like, it's not a flex.
Yeah, we kept saying it. I know that much.
But I think Jaimen makes a good point. I can definitely understand how, a one-round tournament Saturday versus a Friday flex, which isn't really a thing that seems to exist currently. So if you ask me, I think more different options for disc golf are always better.
The only thing I'd be concerned with is this one is so late in the year that with the time change and everything, and even though this was technically before the time change, still you'd have to basically take off a Friday for this one.
He may have meant like the
earlier ones.
Yeah.
The ones that were actually flexes.
Yeah. But I do like the idea of incentivizing volunteerism, and
please
applaud Mike for taking a step in that direction. And I think the more things like this, the better, because I feel like disc golf has grown a lot in our region, especially post-COVID, and that volunteer base is always kind of like just lagging behind a little bit. And if we can just grow that at the same rate and have huge work days like we used to, I think that our area will have like an amazing disc golf scene.
Well, speaking of which, Alex, where did you do the majority of your volunteer hours to get into the finale?
This year, I think I had more hours at Stony Kill, but it's pretty close between Stony Kill and OKDGC.
What about you, Evan?
I specifically went and helped Kat with some of the white tees at CPS, and then also Prospect. Again, just for being so close to home, it always needs help with getting glass out of the woods and just general pickups. So those two.
And we all know Jasan and Jaimen don't do any volunteer work, so they weren't eligible to play in this tournament.
Yeah, we wanted to play, but he said, "Sorry, guys, you got to do more."
Yeah, wouldn't be fair to everybody else.
I thought about doing it, and then I accidentally scheduled a work day on it.
That's kind of crazy. I don't even know what to say to that.
I had a commitment with some other friends, but in the morning I did get to play my Empire Open match against Chad instead of doing that.
Well, you got to tell us about it. What happened?
So we did agree to play Christ the King. Played Saturday morning. It was a little wet because there was like this mist of rain, but otherwise conditions were pretty good. There was this like search and rescue thing going on there. It was kind of cool. They had like tents set up everywhere, and I think they were like using the property to find stuff. Wasn't involved on the disc golf course at all, but it was just cool seeing so many people there. But yeah, we started on hole 1, front nines, the more open. I was up 2 on Chad through the first 9, so I was feeling pretty good. And then we went into the woods, had a couple unlucky breaks, and Chad just got a lot of birdies and fought back and ended up winning 2-1. So Chad moves on to the final bracket, I think. He'll be playing at Minekill against the other regions, and I don't think there's been a date set for that yet, but I know Dylan's eager to get that going.
All right. They don't have the final matches set up, so Jaimen, have you ever seen a helicopter on that helipad?
I have not, no. It is an active helipad. I actually tried to put one of the T signs on one of the light posts, like below the light, so it wasn't intrusive or anything like that. And even that, they were like, no, you can't have that there. It acts as part of the emergency evacuation plan for the local school. So it is active, but I've never seen anybody land there.
So we got 4 matchups this weekend for New York Team Challenge. We're going to start with Burbine at Minekill. Was last year the snow year, or was that the year before?
That was 2 years ago now, I think.
Did you play him last year?
I think we played them at Minekill.
Sounds right.
Because I haven't gone back to Burbine. I think I've only played it in the snow so far. And I definitely didn't do that again. I think it's going to be a fun match. Hoping that we get another day of weather like we had last time, which was just incredible. We're getting towards that time of the year where it's a real mixed bag with weather. But no, I think it's going to be fun. A lot of the original disc captains on that team. So I'm always looking forward to seeing that crew.
All right, so we're going to do picks. Burbine at Minekill. Alex, who you got?
At Mind Kill, I got to go with the chalk. I got to go with Mind Kill for this one.
Evan, who you got?
I would also choose Mind Kill at home.
All right. Let's hear from Corey. Who you got, Corey?
I'm going to go Mind Kill.
Did you guys hear that? Because I still can't.
Yeah, I did hear.
Yep.
The ghost of Corey.
I'm sorry. I'm writing these down as... So I'm like Alex during Disc or No Disc. All right, Jason, who you got? Mind Kill, hosting Burbine.
I say it might be easier just to ask if anybody's not going to pick Mind Kill, but yeah, I think Mind Kill, Jasan and Randy, they're feeling pretty fierce after CPS took us down, so they're not going to let that happen again, and we're definitely going to beat Burbine.
All right, let's see who Randy picked.
I think the home field advantage for the Whips is pretty strong, so go Whips.
All right, and Jaimen, who you got?
I can't pick against Mind Kill, but I think that Burbine might have more fun.
We'll see about that.
I mean, I'm gonna have a blast, but I don't know. That's their main goal. So they're just better at that than I am.
They set the bar pretty high.
All right, and lastly, we'll hear from the Clay Missioner, who she thinks is going to win this match.
I think Mind Kill is pretty hard to beat at home, so I'm going to go Mind Kill.
Like you said, basically clean sweep for Mind Kill. Let's reverse the order for our next matchup. That's Wilcox at the Chatham Hill Country Club. Any comments on that one, Alex, before you make your picks?
Wilcox was definitely a strong team. Undefeated last year, undefeated this year, but we've definitely made some improvements from last year. So, and at Stony Kill, I know there's a lot of Stony Kill natives on the Widowmakers, but I think we can put up a respectable showing one way or another.
So what's your official pick?
Oh, are we not going reverse order? All right.
Yeah, that was the idea, but we'll reverse everybody else. But you're in this match, so you'll go first.
All right, fair. I'm going to be confident with this one. I'm going to go with Chatham. It's definitely an underdog pick, but I think we've got a good shot at it.
All right, we'll go reverse for everybody else. So we'll start with Caitlin.
I feel like it's going to be Wilcox.
Who you got, Jaimen?
It's kind of hard to pick against Wilcox. They haven't lost in over a year.
Well, they've only been a team for just over a year, so.
Wilcox? No, they're one of the original teams.
Really?
Right?
Were they?
I thought they were.
I started out thinking that they weren't. Like they were very recently a team, but then I second guessed myself and I don't remember anymore.
Am I wrong on that, Jason?
I think you're right. I think they were original. I think they were last place.
Yeah, they were not relevant for the first few years for sure, but they were there.
Well, that just shows my lack of knowledge of.
I mean, I was right there with you. I was thinking the same thing.
Alex was a captain the whole time, Pat.
That's fair. Okay. So you're going Wilcox on that one?
Yeah, now I have to because
the original 6. Yeah, I got you. All right, let's hear from Randy. See who he thinks is going to win.
I think it'll be close, but I doubt Wilcox will lose.
And Jason, who you got?
I think it's hard to go against Wilcox, but I think it's going to be closer than it should be.
All right.
Wait a second. Can we get Jason to define his answer a little bit more?
All right, go ahead. I think based on the records last year, Wilcox is a pretty safe bet, but I think that the score after this year's match, I think Chatham's going to put up a pretty good fight.
Wait, so which one do you think is going to win?
Wilcox.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go Wilcox.
Sorry, I'm just imagining Pat right now, and Jason thinks they're going to put a good fight. So 1 point for Jason.
No, I'm glad. Thank you for forcing him to make a pick.
The election is tomorrow, so everybody's got that two sides speak in their mind.
Head in your bet, yeah.
I just hope everybody has fun. Next.
So let's hear who Corey picked.
Wilcox, 100%.
And Evan, who you got?
I am going to go with Chatham on this one. I'm going to pick the upset. I think that they can get it done at home.
All right. Alex was almost a lone wolf there, but all right.
I do think the smart money is probably on Wilcox, but you can't always go with chalk on everything.
That's fair. That's why they play the games.
Exactly.
Our next matchup, we got CPS at the North. We'll start with Alex again. And who you got?
So this is the North's first home match, and I know there's a lot of people who are local to there. Basically, I'm saying I think the home field advantage is going to be a significant factor here. That being said, it's CPS they're against.
Yep.
Yep, CPS at the North.
They've got a really strong team, and they just took it to the Whips last month. I think I got to go with CPS, but like people were saying in the last, I think the North is going to put up a pretty good showing.
All right. Evan, who you got? CPS at the North.
Without knowing anything about course at Albatross Creek, I am going to pick CPS on this one.
All right. Who's Corey got?
I'm going to go CPS.
All right. And then Jason, who you got?
Central Park.
Can you elaborate on that? No, just
I mean, it's their first year, so I can't really. They're gaining experience, put it that way.
Absolutely. All right, and let's hear from Randy.
And it's just tough. I want to say Central Park. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Central Park.
Who you got, Jaimen?
I've got Central Park. I think that they are a strong team, and I know that they have a lot of players who are going to go out and play the course beforehand. You know, Bohanski is not somebody who's going to go play a course blind for something like that. And he's going to drag a boatload of other CPSers with him. I think the real story on this match is going to be last year's league voted best lunch going to a new lunch.
I do want to see how that works out.
This is the North's first time hosting, so they do have a couple of veterans like Joe Karen on theirs, but we'll see where they stack up food wise. I do know the Dunbars are very thoughtful and conscientious people, so I think there'll be a good spread. But
when we were the new team last year, I don't know if this was on purpose, but our first two matches were on the road, and I really appreciated that for us to have a chance to see how a spread is put on, how Team Challenge operates before we had to do our first home match.
That's a good point. They've had that too with going out to Burbine and going down to you guys, so they've had that as well.
I wonder if our wise claymishioner had that in her thought processes when she was making the schedule.
Yeah, I wondered last year if it was intentional for us, but I assumed that it was, and I appreciated it.
Speaking of the claymishioner, let's see who she picked.
This is definitely Caitlin. I liked Central Park in this one.
I don't have clips of everybody saying everything, so it's tougher. All right. So far, we got a lot of chalk going on here through 3 matches, except for Alex and Evan with their Chatham picks. But, there's going to be weeks like that. Let's see how we finish it out, though. We got the Tower of Power at Saratoga. Let's start this one with Caitlin.
This is still Caitlin. No offense, Evan, but I have to take Saratoga in this one.
None taken.
Who you got, Jaimen?
This is at Saratoga?
This is at Saratoga, yes.
Okay, sorry. I'm terrible at details. I think it's hard to go against Saratoga, especially those two courses are almost as far away as they get in the scheme of things. So I think that home field advantage is going to play a big part, even though Spa isn't always the most home field advantage course. I think I got to give that to Spa.
All right, let's hear from Randy.
This is Randy, and I'm taking Saratoga over the Tower of Power. Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah, I didn't have any clips of Randy saying the word Saratoga any time in the recent past, so I had to finagle that. Jason, who you got?
I think Saratoga's got an advantage at home, so I'm gonna go with them.
All right, that's fair. And Corey.
I feel like Saratoga probably going to win, but it's going to be really close.
All right. Who you got, Evan?
I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to pick us for the upset. I know that is a long shot. They are at home, but I think that is a scoreable course. I think that we have definitely made improvements from last year, both in terms of a couple new players and also just general improvement. So I'm going to put the faith in us to keep it rolling and get our second win.
I like it. Confidence. Who you got, Alex?
I think I'm following up Evan with this one. Of the courses, I think Saratoga is one of the lowest home field advantage courses, except for the fact that it's so far away from a lot of other courses. But none of the holes seem too complex. I think they're similar enough to the SPW Whites that I think the Tower of Power is going to take this one down. I do think it's going to be very close, whatever it ends up being, but I'm going to go with Tower of Power on this one.
Probably should have asked you a couple questions before, Evan, but have you guys played Saratoga before?
They played us at our course last year, and they beat us pretty solidly. Looking at the board in my own handwriting from last year.
Very neat handwriting, I must add.
Thank you. That comes from my time working at a beer bar where I used to write all the beers in chalk up on the chalkboards. So I learned how to write neatly with chalk, and I translated to dry erase, apparently.
Nice.
But, I think another thing that we've gained a little bit is just experience in terms of, setting matchups and kind of having a game plan for match play and how that differs from stroke play. And again, I think a lot of our guys have played that course either at dubs or, just casually. So I'm going to keep hope alive.
Is one half of Camel Case Corey, Tim Goyette, going to be able to be at this one, or you don't know?
Unfortunately, I believe Tim will not be making it to our match this weekend. The other half of Camel Case Corey, Brian Monahan, will be there.
Who will he play dubs with?
That has been a point of some discussion. Not sure who has that other camel energy that he needs, but I'm going to try and test out a couple ideas and see what we come up with.
I would ask for a list of people, but this comes out on Friday. We don't want to give any unwarranted information to the other side.
Yeah, I really wouldn't be at liberty to say too much.
Any other comments on New York Team Challenge?
I love Team Challenge. I'm so happy to be part of it. That first year doing it, it just kind of like, I already love disc golf, but it kind of gave me a new perspective. We went to Stony Kill and I got matched up against Alex as, the sacrifice. And we started on hole 10. And I think, Alex, we went 16 holes, maybe.
I want to say 3 and 2 was in my head. So yeah, 16 holes.
And I expected to play maybe 9 or 10 holes, you know what I mean? And on paper, that's probably what it looked like. In that match, it was a great time. Obviously, you guys were great hosts, but it also kind of really kindled something in me to like take my disc golf to another level, if that makes sense. Because some of my early tournaments, I know, Pat, you looked at my PDG page. I had some really early struggles, and I was getting down on myself. And Team Challenge has kind of brought, another side of it to me that I really love. And, getting to play against all you guys and host people and just the whole thing is great. So peace and love, man.
Peace and love. Hippies up north. No, I'm teasing. But no, that's awesome. Jason, you got anything else going on before we head out?
Nope, just we're continuing to do work days on weekends. Can't really do it after work anymore because there's not enough daylight. But yeah, if anybody wants to check out Greenville or come give a hand when we're not playing Team Challenge, I'll probably be there. Last weekend, we moved all the remaining pavers to the tees. So now we just got to put them in place. And then all the pavers on the first 9 will be done. And we've been slowly putting in the permanent baskets too. So of course it's coming along.
Jason, a bunch of my friends have been playing Greenville recently and everybody really loves it and had nothing but good things to say about the course. So good job.
Thanks, man. I love hearing that. Been a lot of work getting it in. So it's still got a ways to go, but I'm glad that people are enjoying it.
Evan, you played at the Stonewall Classic, right?
Yes, I did.
Was that your first time playing that course?
No, Tim Goyette, one half of Camel Case Corey, had gone out with me for, we did a practice round maybe 2 weeks before. So I think we did like a 12-hole loop maybe. I don't think we had like an 18. The basket was still over by the tree line.
Oh yeah, that was for like the Greenville day setup.
Right, it was Greenville day. Right, we went that day. It was early. We played early in the morning. We met the guy out in the woods who worked for the town who had been clearing trees. I didn't get his name, but the groundskeeper or town or park employee or whatever. So we had gotten a chance to see some of the holes before the...
Nice.
With that, my replacement just showed up.
I see.
Oh, I was wondering if I was messing up the odd situation.
Thank you, Jason.
Good talking to you guys. Evan, great talking to you. I'll talk to you all next week.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, man. Anything else going on?
Jenkinsville's almost completely done, finally.
Yay.
That's exciting.
Yep. This is the first course that I've really waited until everything's in before I get people out playing it. We've had to shoo some people away here and there. If you are a volunteer, you can play it whenever the hell you want. It's really that simple.
Totally fair.
Yeah. That's my thing is that everybody always asks to get a course on UDisc before it's done, just so that they can play it and put their round in. And then that opens the door for a bunch of people to go play it, see that it's not done, then give it a bad review. And, those bad reviews don't go away when the course is done. So it's just kind of, it's an annoying thing that course designers probably end up getting their courses worse reviews just because they're trying to do something good for the community so that the community can get out and play it a little bit sooner than it probably should be. So this time, we're not opening it until all of the navigation is in. All the T-pads have been in for like 2 weeks now. We're currently putting like handrails on switchbacks. We're really taking the navigation of it up a level, which is nice. I think that's going to make for a really great experience. Like I said, that big bridge is going in. That'll be done tomorrow. And then the signposts are in. We just need to get the signs in. But that's, probably another few days out.
It's very, very cool. I look forward to eating at Beans after I play it eventually.
Always.
What is that picture, Jaimen?
That's the bridge.
That's what you had to drag around?
Well, it's in 3 sections. But yeah, the section closest to where I was standing when I took that picture is 5 by 12. And then the section in the middle is 5 by 10. And then the other section was lighter. That section we kind of put together as we were going. The dock was actually like 3 sections stacked on top of each other. So it was like 2 feet tall, and we used a Sawzall and a chainsaw and cut the top section off. And then the middle section was structural enough that we were able to throw some deck slats on it, make smaller sections of the bridge.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yep. I'm really excited to get that in there so I don't have to do it for another 10 years.
Can I ask a question of the course builders in the group?
You can ask a question of whoever you'd like.
Great. And maybe I just want to manifest this by saying it out loud into the universe, but what would it take to get another disc golf course somewhere in Rensselaer County? Because I love having prospects. I just feel like there's so much land in Rensselaer County that would be great. I don't know if Grafton State Park is a good option. I know that I mentioned that to somebody, but I'm happy to hear what anybody would think about that as a general topic.
Grafton is actually my first thought. I think there might have been some talks about it. So if there's people with energy to do it, I think it could happen. I know Jaimen's not busy.
Yeah. I don't have anything else going on.
I'm not looking for somebody to do this for me, but just in terms of people who have done it before. And I thought Grafton because there are other state parks that have disc golf, so it seems like the precedent is kind of there.
Yeah. State parks involve a significant amount of planning. So usually for a state park, if you want a disc golf course there, it needs to be added to their master plan, which means ecological surveys, all sorts of things that need to be done, impact surveys. It's never a fast process. So it's partially being interested in doing it and also being interested in not actually doing anything, but working hard for like 4 to 5 years prior. There's a lot of potential for courses, but there's not a lot of like really big parks. I think Rensselaer's bigger capacity, and I think everywhere is kind of at that point right now, is unutilized land that municipalities are willing to turn into a disc golf course. I think that like as far as parks are concerned, like if you look at the Midwest compared to where we are, our parks tend to be pretty small and heavily utilized, whereas parks in the Midwest seem to have more sprawling land, which it seems to be why park courses in the Midwest are so much different than they are here. So I think that is kind of where I would like to see disc golf courses go, is more into towns finding pieces of land that aren't utilized that they can turn into disc golf courses rather than trying to shoehorn them into public parks that are more often nowadays not having the same type of space as we were used to when we had, J Park and CPS. Those were kind of like unicorns. Mm-hmm. But no, I think that, there's always room for other courses. And one of the things that is really cool with new courses is allowing them to fill other niches. Yeah, I think having more courses at a variety of skill levels, like Prospect being, kind of a beginner's course.
Yeah.
Those types of things are really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if like I can't be like, hey, there's a park over here that has been asking for one for years or anything like that. But no, I'm sure there's some municipality out there that knows about disc golf and just doesn't know who to get a hold of.
Or doesn't know about disc golf, and you got to kind of let them know.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the things I'm pretty good at is schmoozing with those guys. And, I know what parks want to hear, and I'm pretty good at getting them interested in disc golf courses.
Cool. Yeah, I see what Terry Hudson did with Dove Creek. It seemed to go pretty quickly, and I don't know the particulars of how that went with him in the municipality. But I was just kind of curious in general because it's, like I said, something that would be in my backyard and something I'd be interested in learning more about.
Yeah, course design it's a really fickle thing. There's a lot to it, but it's a really cool thing when you can get into it.
Cool. Thank you.
And on the other side of it, my day before I got on the podcast was spent dragging a dock through a swamp. That's the part of course design that people don't see.
Was it Doc Ock or Dr. Doom?
Hey.
It was 20 feet of decommissioned dock that I'm using for a bridge at Jenkinsville.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All the glamorous stuff that we don't get to see.
Yeah, the muck boots that are in my car, the khakis that I ruined because I forgot work pants.
Hi, Randy.
Hey, Randy. What's going on?
Just got back from putting league.
Mm-hmm.
We had a record turnout. We had 82 people tonight, which is, I think last year we had 65 or maybe 67 was our peak number. So
wow.
Yeah, it was great. It ran, right till about 8 p.m. So it's like a blessing and a curse. It's like if more people show up, we might have to start earlier or something. I don't know. But it's really cool to see that many people out.
What time did you start?
We actually kind of let a few groups start by 5, even though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I messed up last week. Facebook says 5:30. I decided to say 5 on the podcast, and a good amount of people showed up at 5. So it was probably for the best.
So you got any results?
I do.
This could be our most fresh results in the history of the podcast, Randy. Come on.
Exciting stuff.
I didn't want to just regurgitate everything all at once. And I also, for some reason, can't get the file that Mark just shared with me. Here we go. All right. So for last cash with 18 made putts out of 30, we had an 8-way tie. So those people didn't get paid out because it would have been less than $1. So sorry, everybody that made 18 putts, you did great. And then we had Joe Karen with 19 putts. We had Pete Lauber and Jay O'Leary with 20 for second place. I guess third place. I don't know how this works. And then tie for first was Ryan Martin and me with 21 putts.
Nice.
Which was surprising for me, but it was feeling good tonight.
Randy, can you remind me the format of the 9-pin putting? Like how many stations and putts and rounds and all that?
Yeah. So it was 5 stations, pretty standard layout tonight. No real crazy obstacles. We kind of had one, keg uprights to make it difficult, but pretty simple tonight. Give everyone a good shot at making some putts. So yeah, 5 stations, 2 putts on each, 3 laps through. And then we had an ace pot throw off in the parking lot. It was a little over 100 feet tonight. It was pretty gusty. And we had, I think, 2 people split it. It was Lefty Flick and Willie Harrison.
Nice.
Lefty Flick 21?
Yes. And Willie did a righty flick. So I think it was a flick-centric ace pot tonight.
Awesome. Anything else on that?
They have walking tacos, which I've never had before.
Have you
You've
not?
never had a walking
They're
No,
so good.
it was so good.
What is a walking taco?
I think there's different versions, but at 9-pin, it's a bag of Doritos. I don't know what size, but it was single person, but kind of tall bag of Doritos. You could do Cool Ranch, Nacho, or the purple bag. It's like sweet chili. And so they open the bag and then they throw all the taco fixings in. So like taco meat, nacho cheese, sour cream, lettuce, tomato, shake it all up, hand it to you. So you can just scoop out of it with a spoon or a fork or whatever. Man, it was good. I'm getting that every week.
How old are you, Randy? This is your first time? That's so exciting.
I'm not young, so it's exciting to try something
You're
new.
from Massachusetts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
I'm the oldest one here, and I never heard of a walking taco. I'm just saying.
I would say traditionally that would be a bag of Fritos, and then some sort of meat-based, like chili, cheese.
Yeah, somebody said Fritos, but I think the Doritos were really good option.
I'm not opposed to Doritos. That sounds like a good time. Now I really wish I went to 9-pin tonight.
Back when I was coaching volleyball, that was a classic concession stand option. Just any day-long tournament, you get 1 or 2 of those, and that'll keep you running through the 8 hours of watching other people play volleyball.
I think I know what I'm bringing to the next team challenge home.
It's not a bad option.
If that was everything on Putting League, we were thinking about doing a quiz.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Evan, who would you like as your partner?
Well, since Randy showed up, I think it's an easy choice because Team ADK, Randy and I, are automatically teammates, I think.
Very cool.
What's ADK?
So ADK Discs is a disc golf retail shop. Is it Johnsville? Johnstown, thank you. I have embarrassingly never been to the store because Andrew has such a great website and online presence, adkdisc.com, and he has a small sponsorship team, which includes Lefty Flick, right? Corey, Randy, Kat, me, Calzadas. I don't know.
Ooh, I really don't want to mention Kyle Hirsch because it would be funny, but Kyle Hirsch.
Kyle Hirsch, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know if he'll hear this, but I was wanting Andrew to make a little team page for us on the website, just a little who's on the team type of thing, because then I wouldn't be embarrassed by not knowing all the names right here. But anyway, that's Team ADK, and Andrew's a great guy, and proud to represent him and disc golf.
Heck yeah. So I've got 3 rounds of trivia. We're going to keep it to 2, but we've always got a tiebreaker. So Evan and Randy, you guys got the first choice. Now, here's the thing. I had a feeling that we might end up with uneven teams. So I asked my wife these questions. So if at any point any of you get stuck, you all have a lifeline.
I love that.
I can tell you what my wife answered for that question. Might be right, might be wrong.
Okay.
But I will tell you what she answered for that particular question.
I love this.
We're going to do 2 categories, so whatever one doesn't get used gets eliminated. So, Evan and Randy, what category would you like? 1, 2, or number 3?
Up to you, Evan.
Number 3.
All right. Question 1, category 3. What breed of dog was famed movie and TV star Lassie? What breed of dog was famed movie and TV star Lassie?
Pretty sure I know this one, Randy.
Is she a collie?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You guys agree?
Yes.
Yep.
Is the collie a disc?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, definitely haven't heard of it. It's not the worst name.
No. I'm leaning no, but
Okay. I like your bold stance. Let's
I
go
don't
no.
think it is. I'm going to say no.
You guys agree?
Yep.
You are correct.
Let's go.
And just to give you a feel, my wife was correct on both of those as well.
Oh, she's doing the disc part too. Yes. Let's go.
Yeah, and she doesn't know shit about disc, but she knew that the collie wasn't a disc.
Please definitely tell us. I want to know all of her answers too, just for my own curiosity.
If I remember, I will let you know.
That's fine.
I'm teasing. But Jalix, 1, 2, or 3?
3's kind of calling to me, Alex. What do you think?
Did you say 3's calling to you?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I got no problems going with 3.
All right. Question 2, category 3. Originally, what breed of hunting dog would indicate game, then a greyhound would run it to ground? Originally, what breed of hunting dog would indicate game, then a greyhound would run it to ground?
I'm thinking pointer.
I mean, yeah, indicate certainly sounds like a pointer. I don't really know anything else for hunting dogs, to be honest.
Yeah. Now I'm in the same boat. I know. Maybe not even that.
Yeah, no, I'm happy going with the pointer.
You guys agree?
Yeah, let's go with it.
Is the pointer a disc?
It's kind of a good name for a disc, kind of a terrible name.
It is more of a good name for a disc than we normally seem to get.
That's fair. Yeah. I can't get past the name of your fingers, like your pointer finger.
Yeah, or like a laser pointer or something like that.
Yeah, I think it is a good name for a disc though. Nice straight point and shoot disc.
I like it. Let's go with yes.
I'm sorry, no.
Dang it.
Evan, my wife was right on both answers, just saying.
Okay.
All right.
Keeping score here.
Evan and Randy, what do you got? 1, 2, or 3?
Your choice, Randy.
Are you a dog person?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm not really a dog person, but if you want to just keep doing the dog category.
No. Pick a different one.
All right. Let's do 1.
Okay.
Question 1, category 1. What title is given to the person in charge of Oxford University? In the U.S., it is given to the person in charge of a prison. What title is given to the person in charge at Oxford University? In the U.S., it is given to the person in charge of a prison.
Is it something other than warden?
I was thinking warden. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, let's go with it.
You guys agree?
Yep.
Yes.
Is the warden a disc?
It is.
I think so.
Yes, I putt with a warden.
Okay, I'm going to go with Randy on this one.
I'm sorry, no, of course. Dynamic Discs, October 14th, 2013. My wife even knew that one. Jalix, 1 or 3? 2 is now eliminated.
I am not confident in dog breeds.
Yep, it worked the first time. I'm not sure it'll keep working. Want to go try and figure out what the other one is?
Sure.
All right.
Question 2, category 1. What term is used to describe an NHL tough guy who will drop the gloves at the drop of a hat? What term is used to describe an NHL tough guy who will drop the gloves at the drop of a hat?
I actually know this one, I think.
That's an enforcer, right?
Yeah, yep.
Is the enforcer a disc?
It is.
Dynamic discs, right?
Yep. It's like a 12 speed, a little more stable than a destroyer.
More important, Jaimen, when was it a disc?
When was the enforcer? I'm going to say 2014.
Alex, do you agree?
14 sounded a little bit early, but Dynamic Disc has been around for a long time, and I don't have any strong thoughts otherwise. So
April 7th, 2014. Jaimen.
Nicely done.
No extra points, but you get cred.
I'm going to write an asterisk for you on that one.
All right. 4-3, Evan and Randy. Category 1 or category 3?
I don't know, Randy.
Do you know your dynamic discs? We could stay in this one.
Well, I'm not a dynamic guy per se, but I have heard of a lot of their discs. I'm okay staying with that one. Is that the smart strategy to kind of force them to go in back to 3 where they don't want to be?
I don't know if strategy has actually ever worked out for me playing this, but yeah, let's do another one from 1.
Okay, category 1, Pat.
All right. Question 3, category 1. What term describes a man who accompanies a lady to a formal public event or one of the best-selling cars of the 1980s? What term describes a man who accompanies a lady lady to a formal public event or one of the best-selling cars of the 1980s?
Randy, I think it's escort.
Ooh, he didn't say escort in the thing, right?
No, he said
Okay.
company.
What term describes a man who accompanies a lady to a formal
company,
public
okay.
event or one of the best-selling cars of the 1980s?
Okay, then yeah, I'm on board. Escort.
Is the escort a disc?
Again, I've never heard of it, but I've only been playing disc golf for 3.5 years.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be happy if this is a dynamic disc. I don't think it is. So
I mean, I could totally see it being a disc. Like,
yeah,
it's right there.
I almost want to go no.
Yeah. All right. You talked me into it.
All right, let's go no.
You are correct.
Ooh.
Wow,
Up to this point, my wife has gotten all of these.
just on fire.
Can I choose her for my teammate next time? Or
Just to clarify, I said up to this point.
Oh, okay. Spoilers, Pat.
Yeah, exactly. Alex, 1 or 3?
I am happy going either way, to be honest.
I think let's go with 1.
Sure. I think closing out that is going to be a good idea.
All right. Question 4, category 1. Also the name of an old video game. What word precedes of the faith in British Monarch's title? Also the name of an old video game. What word precedes of the faith in British Monarch's title?
I'm going to need to hear that question again. Sorry.
Also the name of an old video game. What word precedes of the faith in British Monarch's title?
All right. So we got it's the name of an old video game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's blank of the faith. So that blank needs to fit both of those things.
Yeah. I don't know if the word makes sense, but cleric is the first thing that came to my mind.
Protector was what was in my head.
Protector. Is that a video game?
I don't think either of them are video games, but I don't know.
Yeah. Damn it. Man. Blank of the faith. Old video game.
It's going to be something like Protector. Like we've got Escort, Enforcer, and Warden. Guard of the Faith. No.
Not Duke. I'm just thinking of like English words. Duke Nukem.
Duke Nuke.
Of the faith.
Well, it could have just been the Duke part.
Yeah.
I don't know what Duke means.
It's not like Warrior of the Faith.
Crap.
It's Protector of the Realm. That's what I'm thinking of. Keeper of the Faith? Keeper?
Keeper sounds better.
I like Keeper a lot.
Yeah, I like that one a lot more than our other answers. Want to go with it?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. I like it.
What do you got, Evan and Randy?
Dang.
All right, Randy. So
I really thought I had it.
I did too.
Keeper was the first thing that popped in my head.
Yep, me too.
We can cross that off.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought of Guardian, but I can't think of a game. But the word that just popped into my head is Defender. And that's definitely a video game.
Yep. And it's a dynamic disc.
Oh, it's a disc, too. That's also another point in its favor. Like, the Monarch, Defender of the Faith, that feels like it might be something.
I am very on board with you. I think we go Defender.
Okay, Defender.
Is the Defender a disc?
Yes, it is a dynamic.
What year?
Oh, I'm going to say 2013.
Evan?
Yeah, come on. Sorry.
No, you can make a guess too, Jaimen, if you'd like. But Evan, what do you agree or do you pick a different year?
I'm just going to go with Randy. I have no idea.
What do you got, Jaimen?
I'm going to say like 2018. It's much older than the Enforcer.
Dynamic Discs, March 2nd, 2016. Kind of split the difference, but Jaimen went over. Price is Right rules. Randy, you win. No, it doesn't matter. Still a point.
Yeah, as soon as they said Defender, I was like,
yeah.
no,
Yep, that makes perfect sense. Shit.
What do you got for the score, Alex?
I have 8-3.
Okay, just double checking. I wasn't sure if I had given them that second point or not. Alex, 1 or 3?
That was our steal.
No, it's
That was a steal. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
8-3 with a steal. What do you got? Thank you, Evan, for correcting me.
I'm just so excited, Pat. When I saw you at the Stonewall Classic and I said jokingly, man, I just want to go on the pod to play disc or no disc. I didn't think you'd actually take me up on it, so this is great.
No, 100%. But I also wanted it to be a week where we could talk about Team Challenge. That's why it took a bit.
Yeah, no, it's no worries. Like I said, this is very cool.
So what do you got? 1 or 3?
Is there one question left in category 1?
There are 2 in 1 and 4 in 3.
I don't know, Randy. We can stick with 1. It's going well.
Yeah, let's keep going that one.
All right.
All right. Question 5, category 1. The soundtrack of what 1992 film was the best-selling movie soundtrack of the 1990. The soundtrack of what 1992 film was the best-selling movie soundtrack of the 1990?
I have a guess.
Whatever you think, because I'm not thinking anything that fits the category.
I have a guess that fits the theme of the answers so far. And it was a huge soundtrack, and that was The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner.
Oh.
92 feels correct.
That feels right.
Because I was 11 years old.
Yeah, let's say I was also not 1 year old.
Okay, fine. I can't think of anything other than that. I don't know if it's a disc or not, but that's my best guess.
I like it because I was only thinking of like Disney stuff because the soundtrack, and none of those fit the category. So yeah, let's go with it.
Is The Bodyguard a disc?
No idea.
I don't know. I know The Guard is, so maybe not.
Who makes The Guard?
Dynamic.
So did some other company try and squeeze in on that and say, we'll call ours The Bodyguard?
I don't know. I'm okay with no. This one doesn't. I'm not in love with Bodyguard.
All right, I'm with you. No.
Right, let's go no.
You are correct.
Wow.
Alex, what do you got? 1 or 3? Got 1 question in 1, 4 questions in 3.
Want to go back to the other one?
I think we should try to finish it out.
Okay.
The 6th question is harder, but I think we should. We should.
All right. Question 6, category 1. The name of what Marvel superhero with the power of 1 million exploding suns shares a name with any soldier posted to prevent the passage of unauthorized person? The name of what Marvel superhero with the power of 1 million exploding suns shares a name with any soldier posted to prevent the passage of unauthorized person?
Yeah, Marvel superhero. I'm going to not brainstorm out loud to embarrass myself.
Oh, gosh. I got not many thoughts.
Yeah.
Power of 1,000 exploding suns?
1 million.
1 million exploding suns. It's even more.
That changes a lot.
Shares a name with any soldier posted to prevent the passage of unauthorized person.
So what's that called? What's the soldier standing there?
He could just be a guard, but I feel like that's unlikely. He could be a sentry.
Sentry? Yeah. Okay.
He could be...
Damn it. I like sentry. I don't think that it's right, but it's in the right direction. I can't think of anything right now. I'm like just imagining what that guy standing there at the checkpoint would be. I didn't know they had a name. Foot soldier? No.
I just keep coming up with guard. I'm like if I'm thinking of, that guy, I'm thinking guard.
Yeah. Do you want to go with sentry or do you want to go with guard?
I like sentry more than guard.
Yeah, it's a little bit more obscure. I like it. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's better than the nothing that I can think of.
You guys good with sentry?
I think so.
Yeah.
You guys sound so confident. Is the sentry a disc?
Nice, Alex.
All right, we needed that.
Sentry.
Is the sentry a disc? It feels like a disc. Maybe I'm just thinking guard, but
I don't know. Sounds like a decent disc name.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
That seems like a disc name.
I'm sorry, no.
Dang it.
Can we sub me out for your wife?
She got it wrong, too. She didn't even get sentry or bodyguard, and I thought she would get bodyguard. That's surprising. All right, 10-4, Alex?
Yes.
All right, Evan and Randy. Question 3, category 3. The name of what English racing dog might remind you of a Devo song? The name of what English racing dog might remind you of a Devo song?
I think I know this one, Randy. Do you?
Good, because I don't.
Oh, it's a Whippet.
Oh, yeah.
You guys agree?
Yep.
I hope so, because I can't think of anything else.
Is the Whippet a disc?
It is.
I think it is, right? I think I've heard of that. Is that Innova?
It's Innova.
Yeah.
Overstable 6-speed.
What year, Randy?
Oh, what year?
I was still in high school. I'll give you a hint.
Ooh, 1970.
Oh, Alex, somehow you're already in the lead.
No,
I just erased 10 of their points. I'm sorry.
You played MA40 with me, so let's see. That would have been 90-something, right, Pat?
I was thinking 90s before
late 80s,
anyone
maybe?
gave hints. I would just be guessing. Let's go 1995.
What do you got, Evan?
91.
February 7th, 1992.
Okay. Oh, The Bodyguard was big that year.
Mm-hmm. That's what I hear. All right. Jalix, question 4, category 3. On Game of Thrones, Gregor Clegane was the Mountain. His brother Sandor was known as what? On Game of Thrones, Gregor Clegane was the Mountain. His brother Sandor was known as what?
It was the Hound, right?
That's what I thought, yeah.
I have not actually watched Game of Thrones.
I read some of those books.
Yeah, I kept telling myself I was going to read the books first before I watched the show, and then I kept telling myself I was going to wait for all the books to be out before I read the books, and that has combined to never watching or reading.
But yes, I think it is the Hound. I think you're
Yeah,
right.
I think we're happy with Hound.
Is the Hound a disc?
Yes. I'm gonna go with yes.
Okay, I feel like there's probably a bunch of variations of it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Hellhound or something like that.
Or Greyhound or something, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We've been kind of striking out. But yeah, sure. It's one of them is going to be a disc.
Right?
I'm sorry, no.
Not that one, though. Fuck.
Really? That surprises me that no one's got that, or no one's used that name.
The last time I did a dog category, the Hound came up a couple times, and I actually checked and no, I don't even know if Greyhound. Let me check that real quick.
Well, we know Greyhound's not in this category.
No. All right, 12-5, Alex?
Yeah. We are officially out of it. We were out of it with it. But...
Evan and Randy, bred for draft work. What state dog of New Hampshire shares its name with a wind, a salmon, and a helicopter? Bred for draft work. What state dog of New Hampshire shares its name with a wind, a salmon, and a helicopter?
Is this one obvious to you, Randy?
No, it's not yet.
Okay.
All right, big dog that pulls stuff. Gosh, I'm blanking on types of salmon, which is, there's not that many types. Can you name any big dogs that pull stuff?
Yeah, so when you go to the Troy Victorian Stroll, they have those big dogs that pull the carts that kids can ride in. The Newfies, or like Newfoundland.
Okay, I don't think that's it, unfortunately.
I don't know if that has anything to do with wind, salmon, helicopter.
Bred for draft work. What state dog of New Hampshire shares its name with a wind, a salmon, and a helicopter?
Not a husky, because I don't think that fits, but something like that. A sled pulling dog. Ooh, I got it. Chinook helicopter, Chinook salmon. I don't know about the wind. Or the dog, but maybe I fooled myself.
Well, you sounded so excited that I'm on board now, so I'm with you.
It doesn't fit the dog part, I don't think. But
oh, well, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I have literally nothing. I have no idea. Wait, can we take the lifeline, Pat?
I don't think we should take a lifeline at this point. I think that might be a little rude.
Oh, is that poor taste? Sorry, it's my first time. I don't have the score in front of me.
Yeah, and based on her answer, no, you do not want to take the lifeline.
What?
It's like a match play. Like we've already won, but we can still throw.
Only because she didn't really have an answer.
I'm kidding.
I know, but yeah, she was like, I got nothing.
Randy, I got nothing. It's up to
All
you,
right, let's go with it, even though I don't think it's right. Chinook.
Is the Chinook a disc?
Oh my God. I didn't know that was a type of dog.
Me neither. I didn't know that was a type of, well, I don't know.
I was going for the helicopter category, like, basically.
My wife's a dog person and didn't know that was a type of dog.
New Hampshire doesn't get everything right.
I'm telling Adam you said that.
Yeah, that felt personal.
Yeah. Is it a disc?
Probably.
Let's go yes.
What would Corey say? Because of course it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Windward Discs, April 11th, 2022.
Let's go, baby.
That's what Corey would say.
Right, that was I was channeling my inner Corey there.
Final question for Jalix. According to Guinness World Records, the longest and heaviest dog ever recorded was Ikema, Zorba of La Susa. In 1987, Zorba weighed 343 pounds and measured 8 feet 3 inches from nose to tail. What breed of dog was Zorba? According to Guinness World Records, the longest and heaviest dog ever recorded was Ikema, Zorba of La Susa. In 1987, Zorba weighed 343 pounds and measured 8 feet 3 inches from nose to tail. What breed of dog was Zorba?
It's obviously a Chihuahua.
Yeah, I don't think it could be anything else. What are big dogs? There's a Malamute. Those are pretty big. Great Danes, Newfoundlands, or no, Saint Bernard. Is that what I'm thinking of?
Possibly. Yeah, I don't know.
Great Dane was what it stuck out in my head because I know those can get massive. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm good with that.
What are we going with? Great Dane?
Great Dane.
What do you got, Evan and Randy?
I was thinking Malamute, but I think they're mostly fur. I don't think they're actually heavy. So maybe it's just a Mastiff?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
All right, let's go with it.
You going with Mastiff?
Yeah.
Is the Mastiff a disc?
Think so?
Well, we have no's for Collie, Pointer, and Hound. But if you think so, so do I.
Let's just go with it.
Yeah.
Let's go yes.
I'm sorry, no.
Oh, we blew it.
Which means you only win 15-5 if my math is correct.
Woof.
That's what I got. Dang. I mean, they just didn't miss.
Yeah.
It's that
Nicely done.
MA40 energy from the guy writing the question. But
Honestly, the ones we got wrong, I felt pretty good about. So, it happens.
It happens.
All right. Well, thank you, Alex, Jason, Jaimen, Randy, and Evan. Thanks again for coming on. Hope to hear from you soon. And Sweet Up Hudson Valley.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, everybody. Randy, just for my future use, can you say the word Saratoga?
I'm scared. Saratoga.
I used clips of you, Corey, and Caitlin when we were doing the picks earlier. And I kind of just used clips of you guys saying stuff previously. I did a pretty deep dive to find you saying the word Saratoga. So I had to use a automated voice for your Saratoga.
I bet
pick.
you could have found me saying SPAC. You could have mixed that in there.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't say Saratoga much. I think I always say SPAC for the course name.
I've been trying actively not to refer to it as SPAC because, like, not in the Performing Arts Center, even though I do call it SPAC all the time.
I think Jaimen corrected me one time when I said SPAC. So, yeah. Not like in a rude way, just in a Jaimen way, which is very polite. He's a very polite gentleman. He's muted right now, so I don't know if he can hear me.
I didn't know it was muted. That's
Now it feels like a real episode of the podcast.
Always.